You guys are doing well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so good to see you. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I am here to talk to you guys real quick about something that I just saw that I thought was really, really sad. It has to do with a police officer named Miles Bryant. And apparently, this cop is accused of killing a 16-year-old girl. And, I'm going to tell you, this is sad, and I chose to speak on it because it strikes a chord with me because it reminds me of some things that I've seen in the past in terms of police violence as well as other things that I'm thinking about as I look at this case. So as you come in, shout out the city you're from. Let me know what city you're from, and I'm going to read some of this article to you. And it's sad, but there is a point here. I don't talk about things unless there's a point. So in the story, it says that a former Georgia police officer was arrested and charged with concealing the death of a 16-year-old girl who went missing more than 6 months ago, according to officials. Miles Bryant, 22, who had worked with the Doraville Police Department, was charged with concealing the death of another and false reporting of a crime. Gwinnett County Police, that's what Gwinnett County Police said. The remains of the girl, Susana Morales, were discovered last week after she was reported missing in July. The Gwinnett Police Department is conducting a criminal investigation, but the department has made Doraville police aware of the situation. Brian is being held at the Gwinnett Detention Center without bond. He is making his first court appearance Tuesday morning. So let me I'm writing down my thoughts because sometimes I forget things that now Daryl, I see you in South Central. By the way, I'm going to actually be in LA next month. We're doing the Black Wealth Boot Camp tour, and I'm going to do deep dive intensive trainings on generational wealth in just 6 cities this year. So LA is the first one. So I'll be in LA in March. You can learn more if you go to boycewatkins.com. So here's what got me thinking about this Deandra from St. Louis. I was looking at this story, and I think that this conversation about cops and police misconduct is an important conversation. It's good that the community is having this discussion. I think it needs to go deeper into other forms of injustice. For example, you got to start talking about the way men and women are being treated once they go to prison, not just their initial interaction with the cops. That's actually lightweight compared to what they go through once they get locked up. You talk about a lot of beatings and rapes and torture and all kinds of stuff that happens behind bars. But here's what's interesting about this: when you hear about a young cop, deciding to kill a young girl like this, and then you think about what happened with Tyree Nichols, another black cop. This cop here was black, as well as the cop in the Tyree Nichols case was black. That was another reason why it got my attention. Do you think that these situations are typically personal? Give me a yes if you agree that a lot of times when these situations go down, it's not so much a matter of all the police deciding they want to just constantly go out and kill people. It's a personal thing. Even George Floyd. I'm gonna tell you, I'll go to my grave believing that George Floyd was personal, that those two knew each other. I don't think that he randomly grabbed George. I think that they had an issue, and it doesn't make it right, of course. And it's clearly a violation of police authority. It's clearly a violation in terms of the police giving certain individuals too much power. You have some cops that are mentally ill, and in the situation, by the way, as the son of a cop, my dad was a cop for 25 years. As the son of a cop, I can tell you this: you're less safe than you were before all these protests started. You are less safe than you were before the protests, and let me tell you why. When I went back to Louisville, Kentucky, my hometown where Breonna Taylor was killed, and I talked to black cops I know, guys I've known since kindergarten, and I wanted to get the temperature and figure out, how are people feeling, what's going on with the officers, what's the situation. One of the black officers, who's a high-ranking police official, he said, "Man, it's really, really hard now because we can't get anybody to want to be police anymore." He said that because everybody hates cops, all the black cops are quitting. All the good black cops are saying, "I don't want to do this anymore." So the only people that are now getting guns and badges that are pulling you over are the yahoos who are, these crazy Trump supporters who may not give a damn about how you feel. And not to say that every Trump supporter is crazy. I have a lot of friends that voted for Trump, so I'm not judging you based on that. But literally, your worst nightmare came to fruition with these protests because now good people don't want to be cops anymore. I mean, seriously, give me a yes if you agree with this. How many of you would want to put on a police uniform where, number one, your pay is not going to be that great. Number two, you're going to be forced to put your life on the line. your life on the line when you go out every single day for strangers, by the way, not putting your life. A lot of people won't even put their life on the line for their child or for their mother, but imagine for a perfect stranger. And then three, you are going to be hated for it. Every time you do something, every time you get in a life or death situation and you're responding with adrenaline and you're trying to just survive, they're going to question you over every little thing you did and blame you anytime anybody dies. I'm not sitting here defending all cops. I would never do that. I can't do that. You can't defend all the cops because some of those cops are crazy and corrupt. But, a lot of good black cops are leaving the force. So what you have now is a lot of the people that are left are the cops, the people you don't want to have a badge and a gun. These are the crazy people who say, "Oh, I want to be a cop so I can get a gun and pull guns out on people and tell them what to do." There are people that think that way. So this is why during all these protests, I was okay with it, but I said it's got to make sense. It's got to make sense because all these politicians that are telling you Black Lives Matter and getting you to go march in the street and getting you to follow their Marxist agenda, they don't give a damn about you. No, seriously, you really think these Nancy Pelosi types really care about all the death that's happening in black neighborhoods? Do you think that Mitch McConnell gives a damn about what happens to you and your family? Do you think Donald Trump or Joe Biden really cares about your family or your cousin Pookie that's been locked up in prison because he sold dope in 1998? They don't give a damn. They're going with the flow. They're giving you what you want to hear. They're doing what's necessary to get elected. So what I'm saying is that, I think that in these situations, it's important to analyze them carefully and to know that every situation is a little bit different and to try to understand what's really going on without just following along with whatever Don Lemon told you on CNN. So here's the deal. So this cop, his name is what's the guy's name? Miles Bryant. He's obviously stupid. He's a but he's too. And there's a lot of stupid 22-year-olds out here now, not so stupid that you're actually going to commit murder. But if you really think about this, right, compare this 22-year-old with a gun to another group of young black men that had guns in the Tyree Nichols case. In both cases, you just had young dudes that, in my view, took on a gangster mentality. Just because you wear a police uniform don't mean you can't be a gangster. In fact, you're a member of the biggest gang in the city. You're a member of the baddest gang out here. So ultimately, when you got a 22-year-old guy who's got a gun and a badge and all this police authority, it really makes me wonder what was going on. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was something happening here that involved some sort of engagement between the two of them. I don't know if it was romantic or not. He's 22, she's 16. Happens all the time. I'm not saying, but maybe they don't even know each other. Maybe he just randomly decided to go and dump her dead body out in the woods. I don't know. But one of the things that's interesting to me is that, this is not the only time I have seen a situation where a police officer who didn't quite have it right or wasn't quite mature or wasn't disciplined psychologically, who engaged in some significant domestic violence against a woman. My wife is a social worker. She's worked with a lot of domestic violence victims. She said a lot of wives of cops get their ass beat on a regular basis. And the hardest part about that is that when they get beat up by their husbands, they can't really go to the cops because their buddies will defend them. And so, ladies, I know that you might be attracted to a man in a uniform and a man with authority or a tough guy with a gun, whether it's a police officer thug or a street thug. But the thing about a thug is that a thug will kill you. A thug, if a real thug gets mad at you, he's gonna kill you just like he killed everybody else. So you might think that's sexy, you might think that's cool, but it ain't so cool when he's pointing that gun at you. And I bring that up because there was another case I just saw that was really interesting, where there was some guy who was who had a pregnant girlfriend. This happened literally 2 days ago. A young brother had a pregnant girlfriend, and he murdered his pregnant girlfriend so that he could be with his new girlfriend. And his new girlfriend and him were texting. I mean, he looks guilty of sin. Again, innocent till proven guilty. He's got to go to court and all that. But he literally was texting her the day before saying, after tomorrow, it'll all be over. And then she texts him back and says, "Baby, this ain't the way." And he invites his pregnant girlfriend to a party and then allegedly kills her at the party, or kills her in the car or something like that. So he's going to go to prison for a long time. But I think that there's something to be said about, like what you can learn from these situations. Not to say everybody's going to go kill somebody. That's not it. But I think that it's a matter of kind of really looking at the world, looking at the culture, looking at everything. For example, in the United States, we have more guns than we have people. That's why you have so many of these killings, because you have so many guns and they're easy to obtain. So gun control, I think, is okay. I think that gun control is fine because you can still have guns. You just shouldn't let everybody have a gun. I hope we can agree on that. But then the second piece of that is when I listen to music, I think that there is something that happens where there are some young black men who are immune to human death. I think that when you have music that is celebrating the killing of people, particularly the killing of black people, and singing and rapping about it like it's a good thing, I really think that it diminishes the sensitivity that we might have to somebody taking somebody's life. Again, not to say everybody's going to do this. I'm talking about the more extreme cases, but these things actually do happen. And what's also interesting about this whole case is that one thing that's different about this situation with Miles Bryant, the cop, the black cop that just got arrested for killing a 16-year-old girl, is that this is a little different from the other police killings because this is a woman and not a man. And I think that there is a little bit of a bias maybe that we throw in on this, where we are quick to talk about black men being killed by the cops, but we don't talk about a lot of the women that get abused and killed by cops. That does happen a lot. It just tends to happen maybe in domestic violence situations or stuff like that. I've seen it. I'm only sensitive to it because I've actually seen it. I've seen crazy cops that knew that because they had a badge and a gun, they were above the law. And if their wife or girlfriend ever got caught with another man, she'd be in a casket. And he would probably get away with it because his buddies would cover for him. And as long as he knew how to properly dispose the body, then there wouldn't be enough evidence for a conviction. And so this whole case makes me kind of sad. And to be weird, I'm actually even sad for this young guy because I'm wondering what was going on with him psychologically that made him so incapable of controlling his emotions that he had to actually kill somebody. Again, I don't know. Maybe he didn't even know, or maybe he just randomly killed somebody. I doubt it. I'm willing to bet you that they knew each other on some level. And I think that when you're 22 years old, I think it's important that you counsel your sons on how to not be such emotional little bitches that they're going to go off and pull a gun on somebody when they get mad. You have to train them to manage their emotions, and you have to make sure their fathers are around to give them good advice and mentorship. It is your father. You see, y'all act like fathers don't matter. They tricked you into making you think fathers don't matter. Even in the NFL Super Bowl, my friend Willie D from the Ghetto Boys, he brought this up, and I'm glad he did. They did this little ad where they were like talking about thank you for all the moms who found a safe place for us to stay. Well, what about the dads who found a safe place to us? I know when I grew up, my daddy found us a place to stay. My daddy was the one who was out bringing home the bacon and hustling and getting it done. My mama was working. My mama was getting it done too. Don't get me wrong. But my parents, who actually ironically met 50 years ago today, they literally met 50 years ago on Valentine's Day, and they still hugging and kissing and loving the shit out of each other, right? So shout out to Black love. That's the true empire builder. That's the true revolutionary act. On Valentine's Day, you need to reflect on Black love, and Valentine's Day is in Black History Month because Black history is typically made through the venue of Black love. Black love is typically the playing field on which Black history is made. Most Black men who make history have a Black woman behind them. Most Black women who make history have a Black man supporting them. So Black love and Black history are deeply connected, and Black people can't live without either one. So here's the thing, my view on this is that when you talk about young black men that just do stupid shit, just stupid things, just things that are irrational, overly emotional. I'm mad because she's dating another guy, so I'm gonna go kill them both. You got to understand that the father is the one who tends to be the one who can stop all of that. The mother is just, after a boy gets about 16, his mama's voice sounds like yang, 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 want, 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 want. That's how my mother's voice sounded when I was 16. But my father's voice got through to me. When I have had times where I was so angry, I wanted to go do something that wasn't smart. My father was the one who was able to pull me back in. And this isn't just true for humans. This is actually true for mammals. They find that when elephants don't have male role models, they kill other animals on the wildlife reserve. That the adult male elephants are the OGs that calm them down and get them to like chill out and stop being so destructive. So when you have a community where there are no fathers, just know that in that community you will typically have irresponsible, random, chaotic violence. You're going to either have you're either going to have a lot of toxic masculinity, toxic misguided masculinity, or a lot of men who act like little bitches. Right, either one or the other. Either they're gonna be extra feminine or they're gonna be overly masculine, and they won't have the balance that tends to come from a male role model. So these are all the thoughts that go through my mind when I hear about these things. It's going to happen again. The story from a couple of days ago where the guy killed his pregnant girlfriend. That was another rapper down in Florida. Again, hip hop culture is death culture. That's why they feed it to you the same way they feed Popeye's chicken to you. They feed toxic music to you as well. Everything that they want to give you is designed to kill you and to make sure that you don't live a long, happy life. It's designed to leave you broke, sick, and dead at an early age and ignorant as hell while you're going through it. So you literally will be thanking the master for destroying your life. So anybody who disagrees with me, I'm sorry if you have a hard time seeing my point of view. I apologize if I'm hurting your feelings. I hate the fact that we can't get on the same page. But I think if you want to understand what I'm talking about, just look around. Just look around. Just look at your neighbor. Look at your neighbors. Look at how many of your kids are graduating from high school. Done been in a damn school. You done been in a damn building for 12 years straight, and you can't even read yet. How the hell are you gonna be in a building 8 hours a day for 12 years straight? Do y'all understand how crazy that is? That literally you send your kids to a building for 8 hours a day, so they're going 40 hours a week for not 52 weeks a year. Let's say 40 hours a year, 1,600 hours a year. They're in this building. That's 16,000 hours plus another 3,200. They're in that building for 19,200 hours, and they graduate and they still can't read. It only probably would have a good 50 hours of work would have probably been all it took to teach them how to read and write. How in the hell is your child going to a damn white man school for damn near 20,000 hours? If you put 20,000 hours into basketball, you could make it to the NBA. If you put 20,000 hours into learning how to run a business, you would be a millionaire. If you put 20,000 hours into learning how to play the piano, you would be playing. You would be like Mozart. So what in the hell is happening inside these buildings? This whole system is not designed for you to win. It's not designed for Black people to succeed. In all the areas that matter in life, health, wealth, and relationships, almost every single thing in this society is designed to make sure your kids don't grow, to make sure your family breaks up, to make sure your women hate your men, to make sure your men hate your women, to make the men want to kill each other, and to make the women jealous of each other. Every single thing that you see, every type of food they feed you is unhealthy food. That's why diabetes and heart disease and cancer is so high. Most of you, in fact, give me a yes. How many of you have a relative in your family that has got sick with cancer or died of cancer? Give me a yes. Give me a yes if you have experienced cancer or have somebody in your family experiencing cancer. If the answer is yes, it's because damn near everything. If you really study what's in this food, they are trying to kill you with this food. That food they sell in the hood is literally like pouring poison down your throat. That's why you're sick. You think that everybody in your family is supposed to get their foot cut off when they're 55 years old, or every man's supposed to be dead by 57. No, that ain't the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be old, sick, and fat. They put that crap in your food, and then they give you this expensive medical care system that isn't going to necessarily help you. It's going to put you on a bunch of pills, and then their goal is at the end of the day they're going to extract all your wealth, and then they're going to leave your dead body in a cemetery somewhere. And then the hospital will get rich, pharmaceutical companies will get rich, everybody will get rich off of your self-destruction. And I could just keep going down the list. I can literally go down the list. So all I'm trying to say here is, if you really want to raise healthy kids and have a healthy family and experience the joy of life, you've got to create your own curriculum, so to speak. You've got to create your own pathway to get there. There's very little that I see. The more I understand this system, the more I understand how this world works, the more livid I get over all the stuff that they do to us that just keeps us in this terrible, terrible place. Even the way we're told to protest, even the way they run Black History Month, and they control it so that you're looking up to all the wrong people and you're not looking up to the right people. You're not looking up to the Marcus Garveys. You're not looking up to the A.G. Gastons and the Nat Turners. You're supposed to look up to people, like the early Dr. King, who tells you that love and peace is what you're aiming for, and that you should let somebody beat you upside the head until you're in a coma just to prove a point, that it should be your blood spilled. I think he literally gave a speech like this. Is when Dr. King was misguided. He was figuring things out by the time he died. That's why they killed him. But before Dr. King died, he used to talk that stuff about, like, I think he said something like, if there's blood spilled, it's going to be ours. He literally said something like that. And I was like, no, if some blood's going to be spilled, it's going to be yours. It's going to be my enemy's blood. It ain't going to be my blood. Why the hell I got to spill my blood? I ain't spilling my blood. That don't even make no damn sense. I am not going to place my head in front of your baseball bat so that you can hit me as hard as you possibly can. That makes me into a damn sucker. That makes me crazy. So they got you backward and crazy, and I just really think overall we got to look at the culture. I think that if you want to look at a simple way to have a healthy life, build number one, start with love. Everything starts with love. Build yourself a nice family and be nice to the people that are in that family. Don't take them for granted. Treat them well. Whether it's a woman by your side, a man by your side, your children start. We can love. It's easy to love your children. Everybody loves their children, but most people do anyway. But I'm talking about maybe it's your friends or whatever. Like, start with love. Start with building something that gives you that type of security that you need to make it through this world. If you start with family, and I think Valentine's Day is a good time to talk about that. Love and family and investing in that is literally one of the most important investments I've ever made. I was sitting there with my wife today at the gym, and I was looking at my wife, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. Some days my wife gets on my damn nerves. I ain't gonna lie. Marriage ain't no walking apart. There are days where we're just like, man, what in the hell am I doing here? But then there are days where I look at her and I say, thank God that I chose to be in this situation with this person, because I feel better going through life with this person by my side and with the teammates that I have, because I know that I can do almost anything because they all have my back and I have their back. They're better off because I am here. I am better off because they are here. That is how you want to feel. So start with love. Start with the people in your life that love you, and then treat those people well. Don't take them for granted. Then go into your health. Stop eating the crap that they're feeding you. Stop eating that restaurants. I'm not saying give it all up. Sometimes I'll eat a cheeseburger. Sometimes I'll eat a steak. All that stuff. But I am at least trying to lean toward eating healthier food, fruits and vegetables, and taking vitamins and doing all those things and exercising and all that. If you do those things, then you won't get old, sick, and fat like your grandma did. You won't be getting your foot cut off and have heart disease and strokes and diabetes and all that. Don't follow the culture. A lot of y'all black men who are being led to believe that you're supposed to sit around and smoke and drink and pop pills all day and lay around with nasty ass women all day. You're gonna be dead soon. You won't live that long. You won't live past the age of 50. Look at DMX. Look at DMX. DMX is the prototype, in my view, of what the culture does. DMX, brilliant man. But DMX, all he did in his 20s was smoked all day, had sex all night. That's what he said. That's literally what he rapped about. Well, they said, what do you do, X, while you on tour? None. Smoke all day, fuck all night. So if you live like that, then you're gonna have a bunch of kids that hate you. You're gonna have a bunch of diseases in your body. You're gonna lose all of your damn money. Your health is gonna go straight to shit. You're literally gonna be in a position where you're gonna die before you're 50 or 55 years old. And so think about these things, man. You really have to get on your own agenda with this thing called life. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't have nothing against white people. I don't dislike white people at all. I don't. If you're white, I don't hate you. I promise. I don't have time to hate anybody. But what I will say to you is that the best thing that ever happened to me was when I gained the confidence to live my own life and live it on my terms. I don't know if I'm gonna live to be 100 or if I'm gonna die tomorrow, but it don't matter because I did that shit my way, 100% my way. When I'm learning things, I'm learning the things that I've concluded are important for me to learn. When I'm spending time with my wife and my kids and designing, shaping my family, I'm not listening to white folks. I'm not listening to a lot of black folks. I'm not listening to no clowns on the internet. I build my family in a way that's going to work for all of us that are in this house. When it comes to health, my goal is to break generational curses. I want to get up and I love the idea that I had a black woman that reads 20 books a year that was sitting next to me and pulls me out of bed and gets me to get up at 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday to go to the gym. I was proud of that because nobody in my family does that. Nobody in my family ever did that. I watched them get old and fat and sick and dead at an early age. And so live your life on your terms. That's the best advice I would tell you. And your time is limited here. You are going to be dead soon. All of us are dying right now. That's sad, but that reality will help you make the most of the time that you have. And I would just tell you, step away from this culture. This culture is a death culture. They want black people powerless. They want you feeling sorry for yourself. They want you blind, deaf, dumb, and stupid. They don't want you to have information. They don't want you to understand what's going on. They don't want you having the courage to execute. They don't want you to have any of those things. They just want you to sit around and be a victim and wait for Joe Biden or some other Democrat superhero to come along and save you so they can tell you, okay, everybody, come on out and vote. We need y'all to come out and vote. That's your hope. Your hope is to come out and vote. Man, to hell with you and that damn. I'm not saying you shouldn't vote. I'm saying that I ain't never to this day seen one single time where the entire black community's position was elevated by sitting around and voting or marching or praying. What I have seen is the condition of individual families and individual people elevate because they got aggressive. They got aggressive. They said, I don't care what everybody else down the street is doing with their kids. This is what we're doing in this house. They got aggressive. They said, I don't care what they're learning in the public schools. You're going to learn what is required for you to be in a good position. They got aggressive. They said, you know what? I'm not doing what my relatives are doing. I'm not eating chitlins like everybody else. I'm gonna go get me a salad right now, and I'm gonna go to the gym because I'm gonna be healthy and alive while y'all over sitting there getting fat, sick, and dead. They got aggressive. I remember sitting around with other black men even who were all drinking and smoking and making fun of me. When I was younger, making fun of me because I wouldn't drink and smoke like they did. I'm like, why in the hell I got to pick up a liquor bottle to fit in with you? If I got to go get drunk and put myself in a vulnerable position where I might get shot by the police or get my ass beat or end up looking like a damn fool or destroying my physical health just to impress you, well, you're not my friend anyway. So I got aggressive. I said, I'm not going to let you ruin my life by taking me down that same path that many of my uncles and cousins have gone down. I have seen what happens when a man is drinking every single day. His liver gets bad. His body is fucked up. Like literally, when you go to the doctor, they will tell you that alcohol is poison. I'm not telling you not to drink. I'm not making fun of you. If you enjoy a drink and you tell me that, if you meet me in person, just know I'm not going to preach at you. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm just here to give you the truth. When I'm literally looking at every single measure of physical health, one of the things they always say is like, these are the risk factors. Alcohol is a risk factor. Smoking is a risk factor. So it's nice to be able to scratch those two things off the list and know that that's two more things that I don't have to worry about killing me at an early age. Right. And then you got other stuff that you got to worry about, but at least I'm taking those things off the list. So don't do what everybody else is doing. Don't do that. And really, especially if you're young, man, I'm telling you, this culture is not. I really encourage you to. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be done because I'm talking too much. But I remember in mathematics, we learned a technique called dynamic optimization. And what dynamic optimization means is that the way you solve a problem is you figure out where you want to end up, and then you work backward, and then that tells you what you need to do next. Right. So a person that wants to be successful in 5 years should do this. You should say, where do I want to be in 5 years? Right? Or 10 years, right? Write that out in your head. Where do I want to be? Do I want to be married? Do I want to have kids? Do I want to have a business? Do I want to be making money? Do I want to be in shape? Right? Figure out where you want to be in 5 to 10 years, right? And then write that down on a piece of paper. Okay, I want to be in shape. I want to have some bread in the bank. I want to quit my job, and I want to be married to some gorgeous woman and have 3 kids or whatever, right? Then what you got to do is start working backward. And then say, okay, if I want to be there by the year 2030, 33, then by 2032, 31, I got to do this. Then, maybe I have to make sure I have my 3rd child by then. And I got to make sure that I am in a position where I'm making X amount of dollars by then. And then you say, okay, to be there at 2031, I got to be here by 2029. And then if you back up, then what will happen is you'll eventually realize that a lot of the things you're doing right now are not conducive to you being where you want to be long term. Like I see people all the time. I'll ask one, I say, well, so what are you going to be in 10 years financially? They'll say, I want to be rich. And I'll be like, okay, so what are you doing right now every day that's going to put you in that position 10 years from now? And sometimes they can't tell me anything. They just think it's magically going to happen. That is the natural passiveness that is ingrained in you as a black person. That's one thing I've learned about white people, honestly. When you look at white people that went out west and did horrible shit, like killed off the Indians and killed the buffaloes and all this other ridiculous stuff that they did. I mean, terrible stuff. I'm not glorifying on any level. The one thing I actually kind of admire, to be honest with you, is I actually was kind of like, okay, well, they knew what they wanted, didn't they? You can't take that from them. Now you can't justify it. You can't act like it was good. It wasn't good. It wasn't good, but it got the job done. Right. And that's the hard part. That's the difference between being a good man and being a great man. Like when I was talking to my father and he was like, well, what kind of man am I? And he was saying, he was telling me like when I give his eulogy one day, like he wants me to be honest. And I said, Daddy, I don't know if you were always a good man. I said, if I said you were a good man, I'd be lying. But I can't say you were a great man and you got the job done. Right. When the family didn't have enough money or enough food, You found a way to get food and money no matter what it took by any means necessary. And I kind of admired that about you because I could tell you had to make some hard decisions to do the things that you needed to do, you to get it done. And so what I'm saying to you is that getting it done and being successful as a black person in this country, in my opinion, requires you to make decisions based on your terms, based on where you want to be, and having the courage to be different, having the courage to disconnect. If people are saying, "Hey, I want you to do what we're doing. You should follow the crowd, follow us," and the people that are asking you to follow them are all losers, and all of them are ignorant and broke and struggling and crying about what the white man did to them, why the hell would you follow people who are losing? Why would you, if I why if I'm trying to win a football game, why would I copy the game plan of the team that got last place in the league? In some of your families, I hate making fun of you. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm talking about my own family too. Some areas of it, but some of you come from families that just weren't exactly winning. But then they expect you to do what they did and copy what they were doing. What, you want me to copy the same stuff that caused you to get diabetes and cancer by the age of 38? I don't want to do that. You want me to copy the same strategy that led you to be financially insecure all the way up until the age of 60? I don't want to do that. Oh, you want me to copy the blueprint of life that had you with liver cancer because you were drinking so much in your 20s that your body starts falling apart by the time you're 35 years old? I don't want to do that. So I would encourage you. This is one of the things I did in my life, and I don't want to be preachy here or sound like I know it all. I'm not a know-it-all. I promise you, I don't know everything. But this is what I figured out. The best thing that I ever did in my life when I was younger was I would look at everybody around me and observe their lives. I would observe their behavior and observe the outcomes of that behavior. And there were a lot of people who taught me very valuable lessons because they taught me what not to do. I would see so and so, and I'd be like, okay, he keeps doing that, and he keeps going to jail. I don't want to go to jail, so I don't want to do what he did. Wait, he had a baby when he was young, and then he had another one and another one and another one, and now he's crying like a punk because he can't pay child support. I don't want to have a whole bunch of kids with a whole bunch of women because that does not seem like fun. He has been drinking for the last 25 years every day, and now he's got to go to dialysis because his kidneys don't work and his liver is fucked up. I don't want to be like him. I don't think I want to put alcohol in my body because I don't think that that's going to really help me be healthy, right? Or this person over here, she was, she made bad choices and disrespected every man that came into her life, and now she's growing old and there's nobody next to her because every good man she ever had, she kicked him away. Well, I don't want to disrespect and be mean to a nice woman that comes in my life. I'm going to try to be nice to her so I don't end up where she's at. So ultimately, what I would encourage you to do is realize that God gave you a university, and the university is all around you, right? The university is called life, and you can watch all the people around you, look at their outcomes, and if they're where you want to be, then learn from that. But if they're not where you want to be, learn from that too. Do you get what I'm saying? Give me a yes if you get what I'm saying. I'm gonna stop talking. Thank you all for listening. Of course, I started off with this story about this cop killing this young lady, which is very, very sad. But you know me, I'm a scholar, so I like to sort of think on things on a higher level. I'm not here to try to just sort of rehash on the gossip of a news story. I only talk about it if there is a bigger lesson that we can all learn. Okay, so thank you for allowing me to share that. I appreciate it, and it's also wonderful to talk to you. So anyway, have a good day, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day, and I love you. If you don't have a Valentine, my heart goes out to you. Just know that you are loved in this space and appreciate it 100%. And so, by the way, if you could hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Also, this podcast is on Spotify. You may not know that, but if you look up the Dr. Boyce Breakdown, you can find it on Spotify. And also, I'm doing a tour. My new book is The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, and it's available on Amazon or my website, boycewatkins.com. And in addition to that, I am going around the country and going to 6 cities and doing deep dive trainings on that book because I guarantee you that if you implement the strategies in this book, you will have a generational wealth legacy that will last 100 years. I will show you all the secrets to what rich people do so you can position your family in a way where you're going to succeed. Okay. All right. So anyway, take care, guys. So if you want to learn more, just go to boycewatkins.com. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Take care now. Peace.